The Trump presidency is now coming into focus. Donald Trump was a 1990s Democrat in New York City, and he's now governing a lot like Bill Clinton. Just listen to how similar they sound. Trump today, Clinton all the way back, when talking about lowering the cost of prescription drugs in America.
We desperately need a comprehensive plan to provide a prescription drug benefit that is optional, affordable, accessible to all, based on competition, not price controls, to boost seniors' bargaining power to get the best possible price.
We'll slash the cost of prescription drugs, and we will bring fairness to America. Drug prices will come down. We're going to cut out the middlemen and facilitate the direct sale of drugs at the most favored nation price directly to the American citizen.
So make no mistake, President Trump's new prescription drug plan to lower drug prices is the first step towards socialized medicine. Trump now appears to be a socially conservative, fiscally liberal president, much like former President Bill Clinton was for his time. That's our Why It Matters segment tonight. Much like Trump, Clinton didn't really believe in anything. He was, in a word, flexible. When Hillary Care and his other progressive policies didn't work in the early 90s, he pivoted. Trump is doing the exact same thing now. And it's why today is the best day of either of his presidencies so far. Let's review. Hamas released hostage Adnan Alexander, the last Israeli-American hostage held in Gaza. His family called it the greatest gift imaginable. You cannot stop watching the reunion video with his mother. The president claimed victory on trade with China. In reality, deal's a little far away, but Trump appears to be moving in the right direction.
We achieved a total reset with China after productive talks in Geneva. Both sides now agreed to reduce the tariffs imposed after April 2nd to 10% for 90 days as negotiators continue in the largest structural issues.
On Capitol Hill, Republicans in Congress gave up all their conservative principles and presented one big, beautiful bill with all of Trump's wishes in one. Another huge win for Donald Trump. And now the president is about to arrive in the Middle East, where he'll look to bring in $1 trillion in investment from 3 countries. He's on his way to Saudi Arabia right now. But amid all of this winning, and there were a lot of wins today, came another Trump unforced error. Trump said he would accept Qatar's gift of a $400 million flying palace. It's actually the Qatari royal family's customized 747.
I think that was a very nice gesture. Now, I could be a stupid person and say, oh, no, we don't want a free plane. We give free things out. We'll take one, too.
Trump faced the wrath of plenty of conservatives for flirting with the idea of taking this plane that would become Air Force One for a couple of years. Firebrand Laura Loomer even broke with the president on this issue. There is no one more MAGA than Laura Loomer. She posted, I love President Trump. I would take a bullet for him, but I have to call a spade a spade. We cannot accept a $400 million gift from jihadis in suits. Then there's Bayangar Sargon, who's become one of Trump's most vocal supporters. And then there's also conservative radio host Eric Erickson.
This is not a gift. This is Qatar, a state sponsor of terror that has Hamas in the palm of its hand, giving a bribe.
I do not think the President of the United States of America should sit and fly on a plane purchased with the same money used to murder American citizens. And that's what Qatar does.
So remember when I said Trump is like Clinton? At the height of Clinton's popularity, his worst instincts took over. Enter Monica Lewinsky. So maybe that explains why, when Trump is having the best day of either presidential term, he does something so inexplicable, like flirting with taking a 747 from Qatar. We begin tonight with Bill O'Reilly, host of the No Spin News, author of the upcoming book, Confronting Evil, Assessing the Worst of the Worst. I'm guessing, Bill, you're going to tell me that the plane just doesn't matter.
I got to find out what the deal is. I'm very curious to know what the conservatives are talking about when they say that the government of Qatar is funding the jihadists in the present tense. I'd like to see the data behind that. Do you know what the data is there, Leland?
Yes. They still harbor Hamas.
Go.
They still harbor Hamas.
Well,
They're
how?
protectors of the Muslim Brotherhood
How?
because Hamas guys are living there.
They're living there?
Yes.
Hamas guys?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Where are they
Okay.
living? Do you know?
What, you want their address, Bill? Come on.
Well, I mean, I didn't know that. Look, we have a huge CIA station in Qatar. We have troops on the ground in Qatar, and you're telling me Hamas big shots live next door? Is that what you're telling me?
Bill, we'll just listen to your bite in 2017. Take a listen.
The nation of Qatar, unfortunately, has historically been a funder of terrorism at a very high level. The time had come to call on Qatar to end its funding. They have to end that funding and its extremist ideology in terms of funding.
Okay. So you go from
That
that
was 8 years ago.
to now. I understand that. You go from that to now. Help me understand, though. And let's just take exactly what Qatar is doing at this very moment out of this for 1 second. Donald Trump knows how the game is played. He just had one of the best days of his political career. Why give Trump haters a win like this?
Because he doesn't see anything wrong with taking the plane. It's a gift. And as he pointed out, and I don't think I would take the plane if I were him.
Right.
But he's doing it as saying, but there's a reason he's doing it. He's going, look, I'm going to save all this money. Boeing has blown it. They can't build a plane. Our Air Force One is 40 years old now. That's a safety hazard. So these guys are going to give me a plane tomorrow. I'll take it. We have done unbelievable amounts of things for them.
It makes us look weak.
Spent a lot of money protecting them. So we did them a favor. They did us a favor. I don't really care about this. What I do care about, Leland, and what you should care about, is all of this BS about, oh, yeah, they're funding terrorists, they're doing this. I don't believe that for a minute, okay? You got Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, and Qatar desperately wanting Iran to go down. You know that because you covered the Middle East. It's tribal. They desperately want Iran to go down. And they're helping the United States and Israel strangle Iran. That's the present picture. I don't know, Hamas guys living where. Nobody can tell me who they are, where they are. You can't. So don't throw that around unless you know. And right now, no one knows. If it were true, and Qatar was actively funding Hamas, Hezbollah, jihadists everywhere, Al-Qaeda, then I would say, why are you there, Mr. President? Why are you even going to that country?
The Qataris play both sides of it. They always have.
Right now.
Okay. Well,
tough to do.
Okay, so again, why in this moment when Trump can have all these wins? It reminds me a little bit like when the left says you have to hate Putin, and he goes, no, Putin's a very good guy. If he thinks the left is going to be angry, if ABC News puts out a story about this plane that objectively does not look good for the American president to be taking planes from people with some really questionable friends, he has to go ahead and say, absolutely, I'm going to take the plane because it makes me look smart. It's worst instincts.
I don't know whether he has to do that. The plane came first, and then all the other stuff came after the plane. So if you look at the timeline, he was on record going, oh, yeah, they're offering me the plane. I'm going to take it, and then I'm going to put it to my library, just like Reagan did in Simi Valley. I don't really think this is a big deal, Leland. Maybe I'm wrong here.
Okay.
I don't think Trump's making some kind of deal. I just think it's the usual. Trump does something good, like the prescription drug thing, which is good for the folks, good for the senior citizens. He gets the Hamas guy out, which is good.
Great.
He has broken the stalemate with China, and it looks like they're on a positive path. That's good.
Yep.
He's got Putin meeting with Zelensky on Thursday. That's good. But all the networks want to talk about is a stupid plane.
And all he could have said, and he could have said at the press conference, the United States of America does not take planes from anybody, and I'm going to deal with Boeing.
He wants the plane.
Right. He wants the plane. That's the right.
He likes the plane.
Okay. You wanted to talk about the pharmaceutical thing. You wanted I think we're in agreement here. You want to talk about pharmaceuticals. This is what he had to say about lowering prescription drug prices today. Take a listen.
So we're no longer paying 10 times more than another country. Whoever is paying the lowest price, we will look at that price and we will say that's the price we're going to pay.
Okay. This is sort of like what Bernie Sanders has always wanted to do. It's exactly what Obama always wanted to do. It's exactly what Bill Clinton always wanted to do. Why is it different when Donald Trump wants to do it?
Because he's actually doing it. That's why. Biden could have done it. Every Democrat in the country should be toasting Trump tonight because of this prescription drug. If they were really sincere Democrats and really wanted to help American seniors, but they're not. Look, like him or not, Trump's getting things done, right? Biden sat there for 4 years. It's not what about. It's just giving you some perspective.
Yeah.
And did jack, nothing, zero. Hurt the country in every way you could possibly hurt the country. Trump comes in and says, look, this is a bad deal that Germany has got, 80% less for an American prescription drug, and we're not going to do that anymore. What the deuce is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? And he'll deliver. Trump will get lower prescription drug prices.
Okay, so we can...
And will one Democrat in the country go like this? Will anyone applaud, Leland?
Well,
no.
To be fair, Ro Khanna, progressive in the House, said, why don't we work with Republicans and co-sponsor legislation with Bernie Sanders? This was an executive order and basically told the pharmaceutical companies, hey, you better lower your prices and come back to me. There's very little the president can do on this.
On Medicare.
Yeah. Pharma stock prices
today. No, he can do it with Medicare.
Big pharma stocks jumped Monday after dropping in the pre-market hours. So if all of a sudden everybody's going to be paying less for prescription drugs, why did the pharmaceutical companies go up?
I don't know. How's that? I don't know.
Okay. You think it's going to happen?
I would have bought it. If I knew, I would have bought them before it opened. I don't know why they're going up. All I know is this. Whatever President Trump does is going to be bad to the opposition, the resistance. Doesn't matter what he does. It's going to be bad.
Okay. Where do you see the Trump presidency going in the sense of this? I think the Bill Clinton example and comparison is pretty adept on trade, on downsizing government, on immigration. They sound identical. We had all the sound bites. We kept playing them back to back. There are a lot of Republicans, especially during Joe Biden's term, who went back and kept harking and saying, gee, I love Bill Clinton. Couldn't we go back to Bill Clinton? Where's a Bill Clinton Democrat back during Biden's term? Are there going to be Democrats in a couple of years going, oh, God, can we please go back to Donald Trump?
No, never. I don't know where the Trump administration is going, but I know they'll get there fast with the new Qatar jet. Okay, it'll be quick wherever they're going. And the other thing is, they shouldn't get too cocky here, the Trump people, because all of the people they are dealing with are devious. Putin's evil. Xi, probably evil. I don't know him that well. I don't want to say he's evil because I'm going to China, and I don't want to wind up in some camp in the western part of that country. But all of them, across the board, every deal that Trump is making, he's making with less than honorable people who can turn around and just do anything they want. The measure of a man, Leland, a good man, is that he does what he says he will do, and a woman as well. None of these people fit into that category.
Yep.
Not the mullahs, not Putin, not the Qataris, not anybody that we're dealing with, particularly China. So, as you said accurately at the top of this was the best day ever today for the Trump administration. Market up 1,100 points, the Dow, okay? But don't get cocky, because tomorrow these people could just shove it right in your face.
No, good advice. I think that's true about anything in life, is it not?
No, there are some good people.
I meant don't get cocky.
I hang with them.
Well, that's why you and I hang together.
Well, not so much, Leland. I give you a little bit of rope, but it's like Cuomo. It's, I can, a little. But
now
no,
you're
you
comparing
guys
me
are
to
good
Cuomo?
guys. I want to tell, somewhat. I want to tell the NewsNation audience, okay, I wouldn't do this. I don't need to do it, all right, if I thought you guys were bad guys.
Well, thank you.
I
We
would
appreciate
never do it.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Years.
I appreciate that.
And that'll probably be the last nice thing I ever say to you, unless you wise up.
Yes, sir. It's good talking to you, Bill.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.